Peace, 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 peace. Everybody check the Berlin. Peace, peace, peace. Peace, peace, peace. Demetrius House. Peace, peace, peace. Noble. Peace, peace. Give me a minute. Just chilling at the park. Got a couple things I want to share with my people. Hope everybody been amazing, been glorious in the land of the living. Like I say, always jumping back on the bicycle, you know. But I want to share something with my family. Peace, 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 peace. Just in my city of Flint at Ballinger Park, just relaxing, chilling. Did a little meditating, man. It's always good to be back home in my city. But like I always say, man, the mission don't stop wherever I go, whatever I do. My mission and my love is for my people. I love all man, but I love my people so much. That's why I do what I do. That's why I use my own finances to gather and compile all these books, to travel, to put people in turbans and fezzes, to put these Moorish meet and greets together each year that we do. We're getting ready to have our 5th annual Moorish Ball. We're going to do it in Texas, I think, this year, where one of my muftis stay. But like I tell everyone, man, and everyone I see, the mission don't stop. You know, the mission don't stop. Our mission for our people is liberation, is righteousness, and I think that need to be spread, especially to the young kids. Not too much nothing outside of themselves, but everything within that'll make them better than the average. That'll give them that understanding of that extra that connectiveness to the Creator, that connectiveness from both levels of history and spirituality to understand that this is all about you. And so, you know, when we understand those type of things, I think we can kind of move away from the religious dogma or the adjectives that certain people try to use to explain the misnomer in BC. You know what I mean? So I think that's it's so need to be put on the forefront today, because I'm sure everybody, no matter what so-called religion they are, if you misnomer black, you down with reparations. I bet you I can ask anybody, you know, that walk past that so-called melanated, nigga, misnomer black, whatever you may want to call it. I bet you every one of them will say, yes, I'm down with reparations. But if each one of those people I asked was down with reparations, I would ask them, how would the misnomer black person get reparations? Or anything to those ramifications. I bet you it would be a whole bunch of Fuji dust. Or it would be a plethora of different arbitrary explanations. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. And then when you deal with the Negro gatekeepers, you know, those ones that's keeping the truth from you, they're going to play stupid. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. Especially when I'm talking about human rights. Because remember when I say something so simple about human rights, when I say something as the Declaration of Human Rights, I didn't say no stupid civil rights. I said the Declaration of Human Rights, Article 15. So once I said just that little tittle of information, I hope anybody that's with this black stuff and this stuff and all this, we're going to sue in court. No, you're not. And I think we have to start dealing with those that's really, really can make a difference, because it is we the people. None of this stuff I talk about is no secret. The thing that I talk about is sacred. A lot of our so-called educators, our misnomered friends and family that's Freemason. I always say this right here. Watch this. How can a European Freemason tell you that he or she is a son of a Muslim, and a misnomered black Mason will tell you that he or she is some stupid widow's son? Huh? Now, between the two, someone got to be stupid. And the damn show ain't the European Mason. Because the European Mason just told you that he or she is a widow, is a son of a Muslim. And a misnomered black Negro Mason to tell you that he's some stupid widow's son. You see the spookism in that, and how our own brothers and sisters hold us down with spookism and religious dogma. See, these are keys. And then when people say things, I'm giving you scholarship. That's why I said on any panel that can be discussed, I'm able to discuss these things from what? Peer-reviewed scholarly research. As an educator, as a student, as a historian, as a researcher, and as your brother and sister. When we see each other, I exhume all that. I exhume the brotherhood. I exhume the sisterhood. It's supposed to be like that. We're supposed to be teaching our brothers and sisters this. When you use the analogy of the womb, this is the womb. The things that I teach is nothing but a schoolmaster. When a lot of my brothers and sisters think what I'm saying and speaking is high science, it's only high science because you haven't been introduced to who you are. Because we have so many people telling us who we are. We have people that even look like us telling us we some misnomer. We some Negro, black, and color, or African American. And all that is synonymous to slavery. If you look up what I'm saying, all you would do would agree. And these are the things, and we can't continue to call ourselves something that's synonymous to slave, and in the same breath say you down with some civil rights. That, to me, is insanity. Believing in something that can never happen. According to science and law, black is civil mortis. A lot of things in law is lack. So if according to law, according to science and law, if black mean death pertaining to ethnicity, then why would you even want to have anything that connotates, that denotates, anything to something that's pertaining to a slave? Could you explain that to me with any common sense? And we still don't see it. But then you would say you a 14th Amendment black person. That to me is some of the most craziest things in the world. Because if the 13th Amendment freed Negroes, what's the use for the 14th and the 15th? This is what I tell our kids when they go to school, when they learning, and we don't teach them. We don't teach them how to be studious at a young age. We don't teach them how to be the CEO. We teach our kids how to go to work and go to work from 8 to 5. We're supposed to be teaching our kids how to be the CEO, how to have their names on the building. That's what I teach the kids that I mentor. I don't teach them to be no worker bee. I don't teach nobody that. I say you have all the power. We ain't just athletic with no basketball. We have a mental capacity of God's. Why? Because the scripture said it. You made in the image of God. The only people tell you some Negro, black, or color, or African American is the people that look like you. and then get in your face and preach something else. Isn't that ironic? Isn't that ironic that most people from the city of Flint and the pastors don't even stay in the city of Flint? Isn't that ironic? Isn't that ironic when we have a whole bunch of teachers and things, and I have a master's degree in what I talk about, and I can sit with any professor, especially a European Mason and that's a professor, and they agree with everything. They'll say that, well, he's just giving you scholarship. And then you have to look within and say, well, who's been lying to us? Your own people. And that's why I tell people the anger must be reversed into what? Understanding and into knowledge. What? Knowledge of self. That's the whole flip of everything. What? The anger and the not understanding must transform to knowledge of self. Once that transforms, then we love each other. Then we can what? Nation build. I'm telling you, the house is already built. All people have to do is fall on the line and be like, look, man, this is what it is. It's done. The blueprint is there. Brothers and sisters don't have to do nothing extra, nothing harder. All brother got to do is be like, what this brother saying? This is all we have to do to have brick and mortars. Yep, this is it, and it's like this. And all we have to do is do this. Come on, man. This is what I'm saying. When you see in certain cities, like my city, that they may call an urban neighborhood or a community, where a lot of people have left the community. You have so many buildings and so many things. And then when I talk about, because I have an undergrad in business, and when I talk about a tax exempt for the federal government, religious, charitable, and scientific, which a lot of people really don't understand. When we talk about charitable donations, just like if you're working, each state, depending on what state you live in, you can give a certain percentage of your earned income before taxes to your religious and charitable contribution of your choice. So you got to imagine if all your people doing that, what can happen? And all you have to do is give them a tax exempt receipt. It happens just like that. Just like, a lot of my family and friends, the campaign we own, it was like, man, son, nephew, cousin, once we get 300 people, contribute only $100 a month, we'll get to the 300,000 as a start. And then, because we always look at things as a start, just look at the simplicity of that. And everybody get a tax exempt receipt. Look at the simplicity, how simple that is. Don't hurt no one. And so as we go and as we begin to do more things, but when you look back at things and when you look at things, you have to look at it and be like, man, okay, well, what these other things doing that's in these cities and nothing's really going on? It makes you say, It just makes you say, And so for me, and for what I teach anybody that's educated, that have the African American degree, anything, come to the cipher, and let's see, could we agree to some things? Because I'm down with reparations. I tell everybody that I'm down with reparations. I tell everybody this, but the thing that I'm not with is nothing black. What's up, brother? All right. The thing that I tell people is nothing black about me. That's what I tell people. What's good? That's what I tell people. There's nothing black about us. If you have an understanding of knowledge and wisdom, if you say you down with reparations and you are an American, these are certain things that we should know as a people. So when you see your brother, you see yourself. When you see your brother, you see yourself. When you get to that level of understanding, you can look at anybody, no matter what level they are, and see yourself. But see, we've been programmed, not to look at our brothers like that. And that's how it's going to continue to be, how can I say, something that's passed down, which they like to say, a generational curse. because we done let religion and all these other things that was all yours, that was all your ancestors at one point, make you look at your brother as something different. You see? And when you be looking at your brothers, and when you travel and go to different places, you look at brothers in all different color, like the 1828 Webster Dictionary says, the copper color races. When you see all those copper color races, all those brothers with different you, all those humans, then what? Then you have a certain aura of yourself, a certain togetherness. And how can we let of people, even people that look like us, no matter if they call themselves religion and all that, separate us like that from our culture, from the God within, from the Allah within, from the higher science, from the Sufism, from the peace, from a lot of things that a lot of our brothers and sisters may have not touched, may have touched in half, but they use it for power over their own brothers. But that's not what we're here to do. We're here to build something, and I believe we can. Because if all this stuff that a lot of elders and people say is good, then we should be passing it down to the youth. I don't, brother. You know? So that's what I'll be telling all the young brothers, man. You know what I mean? Especially when I'm back home in my city. I see all the young brothers, man, as gods. Peace, God. Peace, brother. Peace. That's why I said I see all the young brothers as gods. Even when I used to go to the prison, when I used to go to some correctional facility, you know, I I talked to Aryan nations. I talked to brothers 5%ers. I talked to brothers from the nation. I talked to Sunnis. And everybody that know me as they sheik, they know the work that we put in. They know. And so when I look at my brothers, I say, man, these my brothers. That's the power that we can have, I guarantee you. Like when you looked at Clarence X, when they separated from the nation, because they had to break off of that, because you had to get regular brothers. You got to reach brothers where they at. I'm trying to tell you, man. You got to reach brothers where they at. You got to be able to talk to your brothers. You got to be able to show them the same love as you would show anybody else if you're dealing on that other level. That's what this is about. Shit, I grew up right on West Patterson. Like I tell a lot of my people, they're like, where you from? I say, I'm from Patterson and DuPont. I'm like, yeah. So I hope a lot of my brothers and sisters just, once we start seeing who we are, man, we'll change a lot of things that's going on. But anybody got anything they want to ask? Any questions? Any questions? Anything? I hope everybody doing good. Fam, I think you dropped something, bro. Man, you look familiar, bro. Man, my name Kari. I used to stay on Patterson and DuPont. Yeah, you look familiar. You got some brothers? What's your brother's name? Yeah, man. You Marcus Smart and them cousin? Yeah. Straight up? I see. I grew up with them, bro. Yeah, we went to Cook Elementary. Played on the same basketball team. Me, him, my team. Mark, yeah. I grew up right on the corner of Patterson and DuPont, like literally. I know everybody, man. I just stay in Arizona.
Oh yeah, he's still out there now.
Okay, is he? Damn. Yeah, small world, man. That's what's up. How y'all doing, man?
Doing good, how you doing?
Man, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good, man. Just sitting out here talking to my people, man. Absolutely, man. You good, fam? Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. 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 around the Patterson. Yeah. I grew up around there. Yeah. I grew right around the corner of Patterson and DuPont. Yep. Absolutely. Veronica and Joe West stayed on Patterson, man, for like 20 years. Mm-hmm. Right there. That's the White House. Yeah, we stayed right on the corner of Patterson and DuPont, like literally. They stayed right down the street. Yeah, right yeah. They stayed in that house for a long time. Yeah. That was the only place I knew that they had lived at until I got like, shit, about 20, 25. That's when they moved. Like, I thought they owned that one. Right. They should have owned that one. See, I'm saying it's real life, man. Yeah. But yeah, man, that's what I tell people, man, and I hope we be able to get a lot of our brothers, man, once we get our temple in the city. We definitely looking. We'll be able to have all brothers from all different backgrounds. You know what I mean? But we did write some books. I want to show y'all some of the books that we gathered and compiled. I have them as ebooks, PDF, or you can get them binded and printed. All you gotta do is get with me. It's just some history that it's good for us to have. Got some history books of the science. You know what I mean? I got some books that, you know. I thought I had to go today. I got some other stuff, like little smoothies and little workouts that we do. You know, just some things for the culture. Euro and Negro-centric propaganda. Great pieces of wisdom, not too long, but real good information. You know, real good information to clear some things up, to get your cup halfway full, and then we can build on what the divine, and we won't get caught up like nobody else. So, this one right here about your fears. When I show everybody, you see I mean, a lot of my brothers, and they be Masons, which I don't be dissing them. I love everybody, because you don't know what you don't know. And brotherhood is good. But when you meet somebody like me that's, you know, initiated, that's not a secret, but sacred, that revealed the keys like the prophet did, and went to university, and lecture in real life, and have a full library, that's the right science. But I don't diss nobody for wanting brotherhoods in different states. That's why I say the people that I deal with, we are builders. And so we building it. We got a lot going on, man. And I just tell my brothers and sisters, we right here. And we've been here for years. All right? We've been here for years. And everybody knows it. Oh, man, I'm wearing that. That's what I'm saying, man. I ain't telling you, man. Oh, damn. Anybody got anything? But Demetrius House, what's up, my brother? I know that's the Demetrius House I know. I know that's the Demetrius House I know. Peace, noble. Peace, elder. I know that's elder. Peace to you, man. Shit, nigga, all you gotta do is go. That's what I did. I just went to tribal. I had my info and I had already put in the app online. Yeah, you probably need to do that too. Carl Jr. It's about that time. All right. All right, fellas. All right, y'all. All right, y'all too, bro. Yeah, man. That's what it's about with me, man. I just like to touch down, see a couple people, because I grew up in a neighborhood, and you know what I mean. I just like to get the pulse. A lot of people be like, man, you be worried. No, not worried about nothing like that. Because the way you operate and the way you roll, it's just you should be able to be okay around your people. That's why I say I don't look at my people like we should be enemies or nothing, no matter what level they on. That's where the shift gonna happen. I'm trying to tell my brothers and sisters, the shift gotta happen, and we gotta be the ones to show the shift, especially us that call ourselves elders. You know, the kids gotta see us. You know, together, not separated or nothing. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all know what I'm talking about, man. Because I be telling people, since I've been home, man, it's been so crazy when people confess things and when people be talking about, it's just like I say, like I always tell people. Oh, y'all heard pot come on. But like I always tell people, man, it's only one gospel. And and that's what I be asking, and even my so-called Hebrew Israelite brothers. Let's say, oh, okay, oh, okay, you good. Sorry about that. But if y'all can hear me, let me know. But all I be asking brothers and sisters is to be like this. It's only one gospel. It's only one science. It's only one law. So how can, like, I don't mean separate us. That's what I'm saying. And we still doing this debate and stuff each other. Like that type of energy amongst each others. Because I ain't never seen no other likeness do those type of things to each other. You know, this is what I'm saying. I thought we'll be able to get to a level finally to say, okay, stop blaming the so-called white man and get to a level be like, wait a minute, this what's going on. This what's going on. This scholarship proceed. And we're not dissing nobody that anybody may look up to. You can still look up to those. If that's what you choose. But for those that want to move forward and really and start questioning some things way deeper than a lot of individuals may be able to go. That's where we need to go. Cause we've been holding on to some things for so long, y'all. Okay, what religion you call it? That's great. When you get to a certain level, you understand all monotheism. You understand all prophets in the flesh. We have a true understanding of that. We get that. We get that. But for people that say they down with reparations, then it's something we have to start agreeing to. And that's constitutional law. Then there's some things we got to agree to. We got to get out of our feelings. We got to get out of that religious dogma. We have to. We have to. It's the only way. We got to get out of all that black stuff. We got to get all that stuff that we think we know. Because if you just know religion, I'm not saying that's not good. Never said that. But I hope you have a clear understanding of peace and what you're doing. But understanding who you are, those are the 2/5 that was taken from you in real life. You're not no 14th Amendment Negro. These are things that just should be understood. These are things that just should be taught. If you say you down with reparations, because you can't be down with reparations no other way if you're not down with what I'm talking about. There's no way. If anybody try to explain it, well, I heard some professor say this, and I heard them and some rapper on some summit. I guarantee you, it's not gonna happen. If you get a lawyer or attorney, especially Ben Crump, any one of them, I guarantee you he'll lose, and everybody will lose the money, and he's still gonna get paid. Why? Because that's just how it go. I guarantee anybody. And so, if we know these things, then what are the solutions, sir? I'm giving the solutions. I've gave the solutions. That's why I say anybody that look like us, that's still barking the same old noise back in a whatever. And I love the nation. I love what the nation done. But I already showed you what certain things was had. Before your dad was born, before my dad was born. No, let me see, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Yeah. And then reissue lived around where my dad was born. You know? And so all this stuff is known. Hold on, y'all. Yeah, that was my lady. But yeah, family. These are questions that we should be having on the real pattern. You know, when they be having so-called professors and so-called entertainers, which it's always ironic that those are the people that speak for us, not the ones that's doing that and it's already proven. Not the one that want to debate, because I don't want to debate none of my brothers. That energy is low. That's a building block. So if brothers understand they building blocks, because everybody love Dr. Ben, everybody love John Henry Clark, everybody love Ivan Van Sertova, everybody love Sheikh Anta Diop, everybody love Dr. Francis Cress Wilson. I ain't even got into the high science. So especially if they love Dr. Ben. So if that's the case, then I mean, come on. But even being past that, what I'm talking about today is why brothers and sisters hate the word more. That's what I want to understand. That's my whole question. How everybody try to make that something so different or something so wrong, or try to say more the Arab. And I already showed you. Now, if you want to be technical, the more is the Arab, because you are the ancient Arab, not the modern, the ancient ARAP. And Vladimir Dale is a Russian scholar that wrote a dictionary. You can research and show who the ancient Arab is. And it's a European scholar named Bertram Thomas wrote a book called The Arab. And in his book, he tell you who the Arab is. And he wrote other plethora of books. So when we can this science of just what it is just what it is. Even that how that sound. And so my whole thing is, why anybody afraid of a people that have the right of a nationality and the right to change it? And in history, the United States of America apologized for so-called slavery. And when I show you the House Joint Resolution, where you annex your L and your Bay to your name, a lot of things was done in the states. What? Precedent. When I talk about precedent, and then they hold on, get the show person, hold on to history, especially for our own people that was promulgating something black. And if we letting our ones that so-called leaders put black in front of everything, I'm just telling you what in, you might as well say everything that you put black in front of is dead. What? Black church, black marriage, black family, black bank, because according to science, black is death. Black wasn't used to describe ethnicity in first century. Black was against the law. It was illegal to be black since the 1800s.
all know this. The Dred Scott Law was never abolished. Never. What? There wasn't no overthrowing, nothing. Abraham Lincoln defended the Moor in court because it was illegal to be Negro black, to have anything. The Spencer and Dungy case. These is precedented law. We acting like we don't know because we don't. When you look up the Wilmington's white man constitution, no disrespect, see what they did in Wilmington, Carolina, and see if I'm making anything up. To see if anything that I'm saying has been made up. Anything. See if anything that I'm saying is made up. I guarantee you, everything what I'm saying is matter of factual. So if that's the case, then now we should be interested. Why? Especially if we're a people. Especially if we talk about we want liberation and justice as a people. Especially if we talk about we want some reparations. I'm telling you, no Negro, black, and colored African American that identified to Negro would never get no reparations. And the only people that get any payout or anything for a slave is the master. This is what I'm saying. This should be our conversation all the time. You know? Especially brothers that say, okay, we in this decade, we can't let nobody tell us who we are. How are free people gonna let somebody tell them who we are? That's not life, liberty, and damn sure the pursuit of happiness. I know we haven't been introduced to the things that I bring to my people. When I talk about Charles A. Wiseman, all European so-called scholars study Charles A. Wiseman. Most of these high prolific universities have Gnostic libraries and all your information in there. When people talk about Adam Blavatsky and Alex Crowley and Pascal Beverly Randolph, man, that all come from the prophet. A lot of that stuff be watered down science, and I can show you this. They all give credit to the prophet. Who? Noble Drew Ali. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. So when it comes to identity, when it comes to ethnicity, I'm telling our brothers and sisters, a lot of stuff is wrapped up in masonry and a lot of things in military. And a lot of our brothers and sisters that's wrapped up in certain masonry. I mean, I hope our brothers wake up out the shallow grave. Because see, these are the keys. Watch this. Watch this, brothers and sisters. Watch this. Y'all ready? Let's go on this ride. Let's go on this little easy ride. So, in the biblical scriptures, it said that you don't take no oath. So, most misnomer black, well not most, all misnomer black Masons, because they all of them be Prince Hall, unless they initiated with some Scottish, right? Then that's a whole nother conversation. So, if they enter the ministry, but then they say that the black man is so-called dead and buried in a shallow grave. Okay, but you're not going to tell biblically that story that's in the biblical scriptures of Haram Abiff. Now, it was two Harams in the Bible, but you got it when you look up. It was the one that was Maul, Jabal, Jablum, and Jablim, and they had a jubilee, like the Three Stooges, you know. Just like the tomb and a pentagram and an acacia leaf that's native to where? Africa. See, a lot of things been reversed, and our brothers that's lower level Masons not gonna tell you the truth. I'm telling you, they're gonna say that they some widow son, but there's no way possible. And see, and these are just keys. So now, when we're talking about who we are as a people, we have to get that black stuff up. Because science, is nothing wrong with a brotherhood. But sometimes we have to say the right brotherhood. We have to have the right spirituality. And just like somebody was asking me about other sciences, I said, there's nothing wrong with crafts. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just like if you study martial arts, like myself and others, or enter any craft like that, you can go from different houses, especially if those houses are building blocks. Especially like if you were dealing with martial arts, and I like old kung fu movies, and I'll give an analogy. In a lot of old kung fu movies, like you will see the young master, he might get the elder's manual, and they'll tell him to read the whole manual and burn the whole manual up, if nobody can get it, and then rewrite the manual, but master the manual, per se. And I'm just giving an analogy. Like, none of this stuff can be disputed. So if our brothers and sisters on panels talk about what should we call ourselves, and we're not even giving none of the scholars that already done said this, and then we promulgate some black stuff, and we have our so-called elders, PhDs, that spoke at Harvard, that taught at Harvard, and we don't even have to quote none of our historians. All we have to do is what? Quote Constitution law. Quote the 13th, break down the 13th, the 14th, or 15th amendments. Break down the Constitution with all 20. Break down what manumissions are. Break down the Declaration of Human Rights, Article 15. And then it's so much more. I'm just giving a small tittle of all the building blocks that you can bring up. Especially when I talk about the SF 181 form that's pertaining to ethnicity. I break that down. Oh, excuse me. Smoothie. But that's so simple when we talk about ethnicity, and we always choose wrong. It's so many things that we willingly do from a lack of wisdom. Just like when I talk about our dollars that we get at Uncle Sam willingly, instead of supporting our religious, charitable, or scientific organization of our choice, and get a taxes and receipt. And that's how we build our infrastructure. And you hold that organization and that map and guide accountable. It's that simple. And people don't have to do nothing extra. It's that simple. And a lot will change. Because the teachers need to change, y'all. The wisdom need to change. The understanding need to change. No more of that gatekeeping. No more of that a lot of elders may be Masons, may be Prince Hall Masons, and they may say a lot of good things, but then after a while, you start feeling in your spirit like the Hansel and Gretel effect, where on Hansel and Gretel, they draw up the breadcrumbs, and you being left to drown. This is what I'm saying. Because I don't just know elder, because most elders were all Masons. Most elders that were all was Prince Hall Masons. A lot of brothers, dads be Prince Hall Masons. I know this for a fact. Ain't nothing wrong with nobody. But we keeping a secret from each other. That's the problem. So I hope we start looking at self, man, and start sharing these teachings with our family and friends. Hit me up. And then some real things can happen. But until we get rid of that stigma of black, we're going to always be hangman. Because according to science and law, black means death. Black was never used to describe ethnicity in the first century. Never. And when I say these things over and over, I hope it resonates. Black history, it ain't none. Just like when I talk about some Willie Lynch. Look at all the rappers that wrote about some Willie Lynch and why. It ain't no Willie Lynch. No disrespect. Look at all the brothers talk about the Million Man March. And yeah, it was a good thing that misnomer black people came together. But when a person used the whole theory of Willie Lynch, and I'm saying there ain't no such thing as Willie Lynch, and then the people that's melanated, Moors, whatever, would say, well, it's still relevant. How can something that's not real be relevant and make that fit you? How? Like that, to me, is crazy. If I just say, well, it ain't no Willie Lynch, it ain't one, and I can show you where it came from. And I can show you how it's all made up. And I tell you, if it was a Willie Lynch letter, it'd be in the Library of Congress, just like everything else. And everybody know that. And rappers done wrote some Willie Lynch. And people done wrote books about the Willie Lynch theory. But that ain't real for you. It ain't real. No first century slave owner or so-called slave. Frederick Douglass ain't wrote about no Willie Lynch. And I already lectured all the people in first century that speak how I speak. And ain't nobody talking about no Willie Lynch. Because it ain't real. Just like Roots. Alex Haley plagiarized Roots from a European named Harold Colander. He wrote a book called The African, a pseudo book. I call it Eurocentric propaganda. Well, no, I'm going to call it Eurocentric and Negrocentric propaganda. Why? Because the group of people fell for it. And it's been passed down. And misnomer black professors have their children and their class, incoming class, read it as required reading. Ain't that a bleep? And just like that, some things that, and you hear people, oh, that's my ancestor. Some Kunta Kinte. We got you teaching some kids about something that's total fake. And people be on documentaries talk about some Kunta Kinte and their ancestors and all this. Something that's total fake. Something that's total, that no disrespect, that a European lower level Freemason, that I know, that I got pictures and documents, everything. Just like the European Behold the Pale Horse. Just like the European Zachariah Stitchin with the fake Anunnaki. I'm telling you big facts. It's all pseudo, all made up. Then what can a person tell you now? What can any professor, anybody that look like you, that promulgated that nonsense? What can they say? What can you say? What can you tell your kids? When you talk about this where black people came from. This where all this, black people came here, and I'm telling you that's all hogwash. All you got to do is get the book One War of Tartarians. We lecture this. So if none of this made a difference, why was it put so much money and so much effort into destroy who you are? To not even talk about it to your own people that's in those positions. Because if you a Mason and he a Mason, no matter what color you are, I thought you talking Mason stuff. I thought Masons know Mason stuff. How can this Mason, which is a European, will tell you that he or she is the son of Muslim, and then the other day in a DAP class, I broke down all that science, so showed you all these things. How can we look at somebody else as the enemy? How can we let somebody keep talking about Esau this and all this, but your own brother do these things? The same way they did Patrice Lumumba. The same way the Big Six showed you out to call you Negro. The same way at the African American Summit with those other dignitaries and preachers. For what? A couple dollars. It's no difference. It's no difference. But I guarantee you, according to science and law, things can be proven without a shadow of doubt, and I'll be able to rest my case, and there will be no rebuttal on what ethnicity, having the right to explain who you are. What? For in the courts, you have the right to proclaim, declare, and have due process. You have the right to understand that your religious laws trump everything. You got to understand that. What? That your religious laws trump all that. Your culture, your religious laws, your culture, who you are a people. When I talk about the religious tribes, all that. One nationality, many cultures. It makes a difference. It needs to be taught. Where? In the colleges, in the pulpits, in the brotherhoods. Why? It needs to be a resurrection, because nobody can deny what I'm saying. Especially if these brothers and sisters go to college and graduate and then be. Especially I'm talking to my melanated brothers. That's fraternities and Kappas and Qs and all this. To not know exactly who you are and be all part of that, and have these elders that started these fraternities, and everything is about party. And it's not about real leaders and all that, and people dying, getting hazed, and brothers and sisters, when I speak to them, they don't know what the hell I'm talking about, and they call themselves a Greek God, instead of not really knowing what's going on. It is a lack of what? Knowing. It is a lack of wisdom, because to pass down wisdom, or to want any of my brother in any brotherhood or organization that I think is dear to my heart, I don't want to haze him. I want to bring him up. See, this is the shift. We taking on foreign things. I'm telling people, we taking on foreign things, and people don't want to talk about it. I said, this stuff is foreign. You know, these things are foreign, and so that's all I try to ask my brothers and sisters, man. To where it's nobody else's mission. It's our mission. It's nobody else agenda. Nobody's gonna give you money to teach your children and teach your kids. Nobody's gonna be like, I should be there. When people be saying, man, everybody should be hearing this. Well, we all should share it. If everybody should be doing the thing, then we should be sharing it. Because nobody is here to save us. Nobody's here to save anybody. Everybody's here to pull themselves up by their bootstraps. That's what being an American is. It kills me when you hear these people and these so-called Moors that claim they ain't Americans, that they some Moroccans, that they talk about they getting ready to expatriate from the de facto government. Why in the heezy would you want to expatriate from the de facto so-called government? Clearly, it's a part of your understanding that need to be raised up. Clearly, because I get all that, but where do you want to go? What do you want? You want to give up you want to give up all these things that you're not clearly educated on, lawfully, not how you feel, just just because you think something or someone told you something, instead of dealing with the right science, instead of dealing with like, yes, this is exactly how we should operate. How? This way? Because it's only one way to operate. The other way is outside the parameters of the law. And if you are more, you understand this. If you're American, why don't Moors want to be an American? I be asking more, what makes you not American? Because clearly something is wrong. I'm an American. I love to be an American. I'm proud to be an American. Don't want to go nowhere else. Don't want to be nowhere else but America. So I ask Moors, why you don't want to be an American? Why you took to be an adult to try to break the law? And everything I show you right off the top, without no research, without no study, just off the fly, I'm telling you, you doing some European, sovereign citizen, oxymoron, Roger Elvick, paradigm group, criminal behavior. No matter if the action or the language, it's all fall in the same category. And I'm your brother and I'm friend, and I'm telling you this. And when people send me things, I only can tell you the things that's gonna happen before it happened. And everything I've been telling people, it already happened before it happened. Why? Because, come on, that's what I tell people. The internet will get you in trouble so fast when you breaking the law, and when you especially not sure, and then when you don't know who you dealing with. When you don't know who you dealing with, and you dealing with these people that been on the internet for a long time professing these things about they this and they some general and all this, man, you can be guilty by association. And you can't use brainwash, because this not the military. A lot of this stuff, man, is so funny and so crazy. What I tell my brothers and sisters, it's only one science. It's only one temple. And a lot of people that's criminals, they follow the dirty glass. Why? Because they are criminals. Because that's what they are attracted to. And that's just facts. Anybody with any common sense, if they hear a righteous man like myself or someone else, one of my muftis, and someone else promulgating to you, trying to sell you anything, or some woman telling you that they some sheriff in your officer, and they got some bill you can go to the bank and put in there, clearly you should understand that some marble is missing in their hippocampus. Clearly you should know, because what some notes or some bonds that somebody that on the internet will have that you can go take to the bank. You ain't even think about that for 1 second. Like, that is asinine. What person that you think that you can meet on the internet that can make you some what they call it, tribal ID? I don't care if it's a man or a woman, and say, oh yeah, I got my tribal ID from sister such and such. Like, man, that is the most craziest thing in the world. It's nothing but cosmetics. Like I tell people, you might as well do that yourself. What makes that legit? Oh, because it's on some paper? Oh, because they went and got a stamp? Because they went to Office Mac and Staples and put a stamp on it? That mess ain't coming to from no temple, because none of that stuff works like that through the temple. That's why I tell people it don't take that much time to study. People be holding up books, and I say, well, the book that you holding up will burn your fingertips, the stuff that you're saying, especially the Exhumed the Nation, right in the preface. When it tells you no one can not nationalize you or denationalize you. It'll change you from the descendant nature of your foremothers and forefathers. Like all this stuff is known. Like the 1099 is not no trust fund at the end of the rainbow. It's an affidavit. The AA22 number, it ain't no get out of jail free card. What a lot of people be talking about. It was a doc number. You know what I mean? The Zodiac laws ain't no special, nothing no prisoner done use to get out of the jail. If they say that they lying, I start pulling out precedent in law cases. I'm telling you, these is facts. These these are things that should be saving brothers' lives. And that's what I tell people. We're not here to overthrow no government, none of that stuff. And people be getting this stuff caught all up the wrong way. I said, dude, it's a way to do things. Don't you want to do the things the right way? Don't you want to model the things that's done the right way? And then when people do these things, and some of the people be sincere, you ask them what good did have any good come from those behaviors. I guarantee you, none of them will say any good came from those behaviors. I guarantee you. Like all that paperwork, all that them stacks of paper, all them basement courts. Like man, y'all, like my brothers and sisters, I hope we wake up one day. And even some of the so-called temples is not right. Why? Because they act like some secret squirrels. So what I'm saying is the temple was never set up for no religious sect, never set up for no government body. It's a school. And anybody that say they a sheik or more, what you're doing from your charter, from our charter, is to teach our people their nationality and their spirituality, and teach them that they not Negro, black, and color. Now that's the facts. All this other stuff has become. If these people are not expertise in what they're saying, and they trying to make a dollar by being paper terrorists, by trying to sell you some paperwork, by trying to sell you something that they say they can make you, and they can't. My temple and school, we have school ID, and it explains who they are. It don't replace nothing. It don't replace no driver's license. Now, if you go a place and you navigate in the right way and you just, if they ask for any form of ID, school, temple, church per se, if you understand linguistics and you operate on a higher level, you operating right. I guarantee you it'll work. Because we are a real body. We are a real fraternal order. We are a real religious right. So when you operate in the right way, you held accountable. And certain things work because it's lawful, especially when you have the state booklet, how the temple is set up. When I tell people, I say, well, I hope you really know what you're talking about. When a lot of people be accusing their own brother and sister or their own brother because it's an area of unknowing. And I say, well, I'm telling you, you want to be a principality. You want to be a corporation. You want to be things. Why? Because this is how you're able to operate and not be shut down. Why brothers look at the Ku Klux Klan and wonder why they can have arms, because they have a permit and they're a fraternal order the same way we are, and we're lawful. This is what I tell people. We don't operate for me as a governing body. I don't operate as a principality. We don't operate as anything that's pertaining to death. We have our own covenant. We have our own charter. And for myself, I've been through academia and I've been through the temple. You know, do I have any aspirations of going back to the temples in the city of Flint and a lot of things? That's not my aspiration, because the things that I like to have out and open. I don't like things to be enclosed. We can't have something good and then in our community for all these eons and years, and there's still only a few people. And everybody, and it's only open on secret days, and we ain't out in the world, and don't nobody see none of the Moors, and we in a small city of Flint, Michigan. Like, no, man. So we create our own temple and school. And I stay in Arizona, but I be in Vegas. I'm in Flint, Michigan. I'm getting ready to go to St. Louis, getting ready to go to Sacramento, and We gonna plant our flag. And this what I tell people. It's like, come on, I'll be like, come on, man. We can't go for that and still be on this type of level, family. You know, if we really think about it, if you really think about the things that I'm saying, it's like this should be like the uniting of Asia. This is like when you see the prophet. When I show people in the Negro is the India, aka the Blackamoor, which the Nation of Islam had, showing all that wisdom that them brothers had. So it's no mystery. It's no mystery what the prophet brought to the so-called misnomer Negro here in North America. The same thing with the European Masons say when he gave credit to our prophet on his 135th birthday. You can put it up on my YouTube channel or just put it up on YouTube. Say the European Freemason giving credit, giving homage to Noble Drew Ali on his 135th birthday, and then if you pay close attention, all the books he talked about, I'll show them. Everybody know who our prophet is. Like, so many European professors and scholars wrote about our prophet. They got our prophet on a book with army generals. So what I'm saying is this is a resurrection for our brothers and sisters. We have to look at our scholars and our teachers. And I challenge my brothers and sisters. You know? I challenge my brothers and sisters from love to say, well, let's compare and contrast. Because clearly we can't have two different subject matters or two, how can I say it, truths, if we saying we basing our things on understanding, if we basing our things on things that can be proven, if we basing our thing on scholarship and understanding and for the liberation and righteousness of our people, because I can get Europeans that agree just as much as my people should. Especially when it comes down to language and linguistics and constitutional law and precedented law cases and doc numbers and Free Information Act. Like, that can be, those are things that can't be disputed once you look at it and say, okay, well, this is the facts. You have to ride with that. Or unless you defending a lie. And then we have to stop right there. You see? So if your brother is coming to you and giving you something that's good for you, and you can put a check mark after everything he's bringing you, check, 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 check. I think that's liberating. I think that's a good thing. I think that's a good thing. And I can show you all through history in the so-called in the so-called white man Bible where people be saying, I can show you all in the Bible. And all the first century church people, elders, are melanated historically from scholarship. I can go all in Russian icon from Vladimir Ivanov and show you. I can show you who Saint Mark and all this is. I can show you who the real Russian icon is. I can show you what was going on in Europe. I can show you what Swarty is. I can show you what the Corsica flag is. When you start seeing things that was in Australia and Europe, and Spain, and all these areas. When I talk about David MacRitchie, the ancient and modern Britain, all this historical facts. All these historical facts. So I'm not here to argue or, like I said, debate my brother. Why would I want to debate my brother that look like me? I'm here to unite my brother and sister. We have let individuals and religious individuals and pseudo-academia draw a line down our back. I'm telling you, man. And we should spread this, man. We can make this just as big as anything else, but it can be righteous. Why? Because we ain't talking about little and nobody else. We ain't talking about, we don't have time to be worried about where nobody else came from or who is this. We don't have time for that. All we have time to talk about is us, 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 me, you, what we doing, who we are in history. Without a doubt, without a shadow of a doubt, proving it historically, spiritually, religiously, whatever you want to talk about. Prove it that way, showing that. That's what we need to do. Everything else, it ain't no reason we need to be discussing where somebody else came from. We done had that discussion a plethora of times. We done had barbershop talk every time. We done march all day. I'm telling you, all that marching ain't gonna do nothing without no money behind it and without all the money people gather and these people be living lavish, and you look in an impoverished community where these people from and who you dealing with, and nothing changed. Everybody move out. This what I'm saying was the change that we want to do in our city of Flint, and I know we can. We can change so much, man. Because no disrespect, if the crazy stuff going on in the city of Flint with the politicians and the preachers is all on Facebook, hell, before that, the politicians was crazy, the city hall was crazy. But now you got the ministry, the mayor, homeboy, with all this scandal, and then now it's a dude, it's all, you can, this public information that's so-called messing with kids, going to prison for spreading the virus, the 3-letter virus. And all this stuff, and it's like, well, and I ain't even been home that long. I've been home almost a month or something, 2 months or something like that, and all this is connected to the same. I'm like, wait a minute. I said, these is what the people left with. This is what the people left with in all areas. This is what our children is going to be left under. When people only time people are going to say something what's really going on is when they disgruntled and when they hear their name in the chat. And then they started going off and everything about what's been happening for years, for over 10 years, messing with kids, and ain't nobody gonna say nothing. And this stuff posted that blow under the rug. If these people was doing all this stuff to minors, where the minors at now? Where the people they doing it with? Because foxes and all other animals, wolves, they don't hunt together. I mean, alone. This is the crazy thing about this stuff, why I'll be so worried. I'll be like, man, y'all don't see what's going on? This what I be saying. And so I'm like, wait a minute, man. It gotta be something that we can hold on to. Because we've been given some stuff that's meaningless. We've been given some feel-good stuff all the time. And people say, well, you don't like the Lord? I ain't never said that. I don't like the way it's promulgated. I don't like the way our people is stuck under Christendom and don't see themselves in things. And the way understanding is brought down to our children. And we don't teach history and culture. And we don't teach nationality and spirituality, which need to go hand in hand to make us complete fifths. So we can really do some things while everybody talking about reparations and so-called Black Lives Matter. And I tell people, Black lives do not matter. I'm sorry. No one can sit up here and have an intellectual conversation with me and say misnomer black people will get reparations by identifying as black. You will be lying. And any attorney that's black, he'll be lying too, but he gonna get paid anyway. Everybody, it'll be a whole sham. It'll be a whole, it show. And it wouldn't even take me long to destroy that, because it needs to be destroyed. And it need to be destroyed for the record. You got to think about all these young kids right now that's under this Black Lives movement. All these kids, and they passionate as heck, but they getting the wrong science. You got to think about all these kids that get ready to go to school to be an attorney and all this, dealing with law and policy pertaining to ethnicity and all these things. Man, they gonna be under the radar. Because they don't have an ally. It's almost like having a study with you right there that's giving you the wisdom to get there. That's what this is. It's too valuable, because a lot of them go through it and be unequipped. So when you go into these things, when you go here, you be like, oh, you can really do some justice if that's what you want to do, and you don't be mad no more. How? You use the law that's written. How? You use it for what? For power. You use it. You pull it up, because nobody gonna pull it up for you. Nobody gonna bring up charges for you. It's on you. It's on us. It's on us together. You have brothers talking about some $5 Indian. Why are you talking about that? I already broke down the Declaration of Human Rights, Article 15. What is that, Sheik? You have a right of a nationality and a right to change it. No one will be arbitrarily denied of a nationality and a right to change it. And the claim a child replaces the birth certificate. That's just a tittle. So you ain't asked about the Declaration of Human Rights, Article 15? Forget some before some 1868. I'm talking about way before that, when the free black so-called men was like, we ain't no 14th Amendment Negroes. Like all this stuff in history, how America apologized for these things. How historically, what I'm saying, no matter if this person that may got a lot of views saying that they Indians and this and all that, okay, we all that. We one nationality in many cultures. Okay, yeah, well, a person said we the five civilized tribes. Okay. But you can't deny who people know who they are. You can't deny that people are Americans. It's nothing to deny. We the only group of people that argue with each other who we are. And I try to tell people we all that. Like, that's the thing. We all that. Once we accept that, we was all over the globe. Once we understand that we graft and people, our complexion is copper colored, our eyes, our nose, all that. Once we understood that, then you have a clear understanding. The science is so simple. It's just like religious people. They say we all Hebrew Israelites, and I say, man, I'm just an act don't change you. I get everything what the person is saying, because who these so-called Israelites to your God? What area did you come to? You came to Canaanite land, and you dealt with the Chaldeans. So your God told you to come kill these melanated people of what? The book and cross over. So it's so much things that need to be talked about and discussed on conversations. But what I'm telling people, when a person say, well, we all this, I say we all that. We all that when you have a clear understanding, when you sit down and study and read. You all that. You don't put this before that. You have a clear understanding. Why? Through history. What? Ancient history, American history. So if we understand that and we teaching that, now we should be able to go to the next level. What we going to do now today in the flesh? When we talk about the schools ain't teaching this or the churches ain't teaching this. And I say, well, everybody working. Okay, yep. When I say, well, everybody giving their money to Uncle Sam, and if everybody that's saying it's a problem, hold me accountable and donate to our organization, and you get a taxes and receipt to get to your tax preparer, and you don't have to do nothing else. And I guarantee you, what we say will happen. And it's just that it happened that fast, because we're taxes in for the federal government, religious, charitable, contribution wise, and charitable. You want to be. You can distribute people taxes and receipts. That's how we operate in our community. That's how, when these organizations, these, no disrespect, European churches, these Jewish churches, when they have dignitaries and professionals and regular people that work, they donate to their religious organization and they get a taxes and receipt. That's part of their culture. That's how they're successful. If they get grants because their operation is magnanimous like that, and if they're able to get grants, which they qualify for, which is so many grants out there, so be it. But I'm talking about the work that can be done in our community, and the change and the shift, the cosmic event that will happen from a seeing in a community and communities, and being able to give something to compare to, while our young kids, while our young sons and daughters going through that academia, correcting a lot of teachings, getting a lot of books that a lot of our kids haven't been introduced. So when these so-called black things come up and these teachers challenging them and they really being smart, the student can really come back with academia and wisdom. And if it's any problem, your elder can come and defend you. Why? Because that's what we're supposed to do. I'm telling you what I know, and the shift will happen. You'll be able to know what your turban is. You'll be able to say, well, no, it's in the biblical scripture. This ain't got nothing to do with nothing else. The followers of Yahshua wore a turban with a jewel on it, the high priest. The kufi, the bonnet, the yarmulke, all your culture. The turban, all your culture. The tunic, cotton or silk, with embroidery, all your culture. So when brothers be saying, oh, we this or that, no, you had two so-called Hebrew pharaohs in Egypt. So what I be telling brothers, we have to get out of that, this is this and that is that. Because when I talk to my Nation of Islam brothers that might not wear the native culture, and I give credit to Elijah Muhammad, I know a lot of people have done some things, but when I talk about wisdom, just like Dr. York, I understand the wisdom. I understand our ancient wisdom, because they all knew they Moors if they didn't say they come out their mouth, but they all knew that they were Moors. These is facts. But when I talk about When I talk about Elijah Muhammad, and for a lot of Nation of Islam Muslims, when they look at that man in the flesh, that God man in the flesh, as doing some things that can be connected to, and not no so-called sky God, not know, oh well, like a lot of people say, well, Jesus and Yahshua have done this, and they can say without a doubt, your Yahshua per se have done nothing for you in the physical. You might say mental, and those mental things allow or say, well, he gave you the power to do this. I hear that, but in the flesh, you haven't been able. It haven't happened like that. Uh, a lot of individuals see Elijah Muhammad that done those good, even other God men before these people. And this is what I'm saying. But with the wisdom and understanding today, they all got to know that we Moors. They all know, because Farrakhan give credit to Noble Drew Ali and Founders Day. I share all this stuff on my on my YouTube channel. Everyone know, even the so-called Hebrew Israelite with Winworth Matthews and Mordecai and Abdullah that taught Neville Goddard, the wise European scholar. You can pull it up. They all know that we Moors. They all know that the holy man, the silent brotherhood of the East, wore a turban in the church. Those were the brothers of the East. That represents what? The holy, the higher science. The East, in the misnumbered black churches. It's all in there, and they all know it. It's our people that did this to us. Even the ancient rite of mystic noble shrine. I showed you that Moore started that in 1893. And then when your brothers, they say they're the ancient and mystic shrine under some, no disrespect, European Albion stuff in the 1900s. And you see all your brothers and sisters on there with all different headdress, native headdress, all different regions under one roof, under one science. And we letting some stuff separate us now. And all those brothers back then was under the prophet. Even Nation of Islam brothers be acting like they don't know who Fard Muhammad is. Well, that picture everybody see ain't him. But then, okay, the picture with the prophet, everybody say it's him, but ain't him. Every time somebody say something or show a picture or anything, it's not this, and that be people's defense. Like, man, we gotta stop that doing it to each other. We gotta stop that. Every time a person can discredit something because they got a degree, or it can talk in a certain vibe. Tone, look at them deers. Or they talk in a certain tone or cantons. You know? It's like, no, the truth is the truth and the lie is a lie. Everything can't be a mystery. Everything can't be where a person just came here and then all of a sudden, and then came to the people and men and told them this. And a prophet and an angel look like me. Noble Drew Ali look like me. Our prophet brought something to us. You know, it don't always have to be somebody that don't look like you telling you who you are. It's just not, we got to stop that, man. Just like in the church, it's some curse of Ham. People act like they don't know what I'll be talking about when I be saying it. You know what I'll be talking about. The preacher talk about some curse of Ham. Why the misnumbered kids, why your skin black, because some curse of Ham. They even do it on the Catholic old commercial cartoons. I show it. I mean, I have all these things. I lecture this stuff. We pass down so much bull crap. But if you want to come from scholarship, from no bias, I can show you that the misnomer black man is the father of civilization, proved by the Bible alone, without a shadow of a doubt, without no prejudice, without no bias, and nobody and can't nobody say nothing, and we can go scripture for scripture. And I guarantee you it would be no biasness. I can show you in the Quran how it talks about Jesus a lot. But I show you that the science that I'm under is nothing outside of myself. I'm not orthodox, and anything outside of myself is true shirk. I tell you, I'm a tasawwuf, I'm a Sufi, and I give you the Sufi hadith because Allah loves the hadith, love that extra wisdom. It's another level of Islam. It's just what it is, and the Islam I'm under is Sufism, it's tasawwuf. I tell a person this. I understand the triple rows. I understand all the three religious rites. The Fatimid, the Paraclete, the Jerusalem, or the Christian, whatever you want to call it. I give the degrees. We bring all unto the Yagarant, the Rosicrucian manual. We bring all those degrees to our brothers and sisters. There's no snowman wisdom here. There's no secrecy. It's sacredness. And if brothers want to be in a part of a brotherhood as we build in this temple nationwide, you know, and get the right science, and do things freely, you will be able to do things freely. And that's what you want to do because it's always a right science. It's always. So with that being said, man, I love y'all and thank y'all for your time, man. And like I said, reach out to your brother, man. Subscribe to our Temple and School YouTube page. Anything y'all need, man, hit us up. But our Temple and School YouTube page is a Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School. I always stream it on my personal page, but please subscribe, man. And with that being said, man, thank y'all, and I love y'all, and peace.